Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for digital nomads, expats, travelers, entrepreneurs, investors, and related internationals. For more information, please visit venezuelainsider.com. Downsides of Margarita Island. And believe me, I strove to make this video because if you follow my content from the past couple of months and even a couple of years, you know that I love Margarita Island. Sorry, I didn't do the heart-shaped thing. Okay, forget about it. The thing is, I love Margarita Island. I love me some Margarita Island. And it's a beautiful place. I don't have to say that much. Summer all year round, beautiful beaches, beautiful amenities, nice piece of properties, an international hub, you name it, you name it, you name it. It's one of my favorite places all around the world. And actually, I had this debate with myself a couple times per year. Should I move to Margarita Island? I live in Lecheria, Venezuela, and Lecheria is awesome. However, Margarita has some amenities compared to Lecheria. It's actually a little bit cheaper and has a couple of things that I can find here in Lecheria. So Margarita Island is beautiful, and I love to go a few times a year. However, I make this list of the things that are the downsides of living in Margarita Island. I want to share it with you. The first thing is heavily dependent on tourism. And here's why it's a downside. Because Margarita is by far the main touristic hub here in Venezuela, not only for international but also for domestic people here in Venezuela. However, the thing is, when the economy goes a little bit bad, just a little bit, and the economic outflow to Margarita diminishes because Margarita is very dependent on tourism. So let's say you have 1,000 people going per year to Margarita Island, and the economy just ticks down a little bit, and that 1,000 just goes to, let's say, 900, 10% decrease. The average Margaritan entrepreneur, employee, you name it, they're gonna feel it. They're gonna feel it. Oh God, why things are so bad? Just for a 10% decrease, that considerable, still just 10%, and business go bust, and you name it, just off that 10% drop that happens every now and then. Of course, I'm not talking about the 80% collapse of the economy last decade. I'm talking just an average, just slightly average year. Number two, Margarita is isolated. And many people say that actually that's a good thing because Margarita has a ton of amenities, and Margarita, because there's not as used, is not that much populated. You can feel like you are in a small town, in some cases, and you go to your favorite restaurants and your favorite beaches and your favorite streets. You walk on the streets, and you name it, it's a very pleasant experience. However, the thing is such that it's isolated. In order to leave the island, if you have to leave the island by any reason, I mean, just for travel and such, the thing is, if you miss a flight, you miss a ferry shipment, you name it, you're gonna struggle a lot. So please be on time when you are in Margarita. Don't miss any flights. Of course, we have a bunch of flights to Margarita. We have a bunch of ferries going to Margarita. Still, if you miss that shipment, that flight, you name it, you miss an appointment, you're gonna struggle a little bit. Number three is network, and here's why. Margarita is a great place, don't get me wrong. The people that live in Margarita Island are very nice people, great people, very soul of year people. Actually, there's all flats in Margarita Island. Okay. The major thing is that Margarita has a lot of transient population. There is a lot of turnaround. Comes people from all around the country and even a lot of people internationally. So you're gonna hang out for a few days and you're gonna meet very interesting people from abroad, not only from abroad the country, but also from abroad the island. However, these people, most of the time, they're not gonna stick to the island, they're gonna move on and go someplace else. So it's a very difficult place to make long lasting relationships regarding business, future business partners, or just entrepreneurs, fellow entrepreneurs, like-minded people like yourself. You're gonna meet them, of course, all the time, but it's not gonna be the same people. It's a lot of turnaround on the people that comes and goes, and that brings some issues if you live there all year round. Number four is dating. Dating in Margarita, actually, like I said, people in Margarita, very nice people, and Margaritan women are actually very pretty and actually very traditional and they're very nice women, I have to say. I haven't met a bad woman from Margarita, now that I'm thinking about it. And the downside is that, like I said, the local population is actually quite low compared to a lot of transient population. And there's gonna be a lot of meeting people and then saying goodbye and meeting and say goodbye and meeting. Just like I said on the networking thing, it's gonna be harder to date in Margarita. Also in Margarita, and this is I'm gonna cover this on the next point. However, in Margarita, mm, like it's gonna be also a lot of turnaround if you're not from there and you just move from there and you wanna meet people and date people long term. It's gonna be a little bit of a hassle. You're gonna have an extra layer of difficulty or complexity dating over there just by the sheer fact that it's a touristic hub. Number five is inequality. In the whole country, we have inequality, like all countries around the world and all countries in Latin America. However, in Margarita, you see it's pretty bad. It's worse than most of the rest of the country, where, of course, here in Venezuela, we have same impoverished people, we have lower middle class, high middle class. In Margarita, it's like all of nothing, all of nothing. And you have pretty impoverished people. Of course, you have middle class, but that middle class is not as great. Is that K graphic is not as great as the rest of the country. You hear on the news that Venezuela doesn't have middle class. We have a bunch of middle class. I mean, at least on the minds. But in Margarita, we don't have that. In Margarita, you don't have that much middle class. And that's something that scares me a lot because that's what I see on my last couple of trips to Margarita. And the people who is rich, pretty wealthy, and also affects on the dating scene because the very rich people date very rich from women from the very rich families, and yet again, and also with the lower income stratus. And you see that on Margarita. I mean, Margarita is on that economic situation is a little bit hard to stomach. Beautiful place to live, I have to say, is one of my favorite places around the world. However, it's just my thing that could be a little bit disturbing. And lastly, I want to talk about the amenities. Margarita has a ton of amenities. You have restaurants from all around the world. You have Spanish restaurants, sushi restaurants, Italian restaurants, local restaurants, seafood restaurants, steakhouses, ice cream parlors, you name it. You have all Margarita on that regard. Also, if you go to the grocery stores and the supermarkets, you find products from all around the world. And of course, you have hotels and you have entertainment centers and you have movies and you have gyms and you have nice properties and you have beaches, a bunch of beaches. You have a lot of things to do. However, everything is focused on summer entertainment. So if you're a winter guy and you like the four seasons kind of thing, Margarita is not the place for you. Margarita is summer all year round. And if you don't like hot weather. I mean, Venezuela, it's of course a tropical country, and Margarita is one of the places that have tropical climate. And I said on a previous video, on a former video, that Venezuela has all the climates known by mankind. However, Margarita, you only have weather, tropical weather all year round. So if that's an issue, a deal breaker for you, and Margarita is not the place for you. Thank you for watching the whole video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on our social media. Remember to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again. Have a nice day.